His name was John. Life had a way of testing him. One day his job was there, the next it was gone, just like that. An empty desk, a silent phone. The future felt heavy like a thick fog. He looked for new work day after day, sending out his resume, going to interviews, but the doors remained closed. Hope began to feel like a distant memory. He worried about bills, he worried about tomorrow. Then another shadow fell, his father, his kind, strong father, the man who taught him so much. Alzheimer's. The word was cold. It was a thief coming to steal precious memories. John felt the ground shake beneath him. Two storms at once, his job gone, his father ill. How could one person bear so much? His heart ached for his dad. He knew he had to be strong. For both of them, he pushed his own fears down. Caring for his father became John's new life. It was a difficult path, full of love, yes, but also deep exhaustion. He learned to feed his father, to bathe him gently, to hold his hand when confusion came. Sometimes his father didn't know him. Those days were hard. John learned about patience, a deep, quiet patience. He learned about a strength he never knew he possessed, the kind that doesn't shout, it just endures. The world outside slowly faded away. Friends called at first, then less often. Invitations to go out stopped coming. John's life became small, contained within the walls of their quiet home. It was just him and his father, sharing silent moments, sometimes a shared smile, sometimes just sitting together. He often felt a profound loneliness, a heavy weight on his shoulders. He carried on. He had to. Love made him. 7 years, they passed like seasons. Winter always seemed to last longer. 7 years of dedicated care, 7 years of unwavering love. His father changed more each year. The cruel disease took its toll. It stole words, it stole recognition. But John remained, a constant presence, a steady hand, a loving son until the very end. He wouldn't have it any other way. This was his promise. Memories vanished like mist in the morning sun. Names were forgotten. Familiar faces became strange. Yet sometimes in his father's faded eyes a tiny spark, a flicker of the man he once was, a brief moment of connection. John lived for these moments. He held them close to his heart. They were like small warm lights in a long dark tunnel. They gave him strength to continue. They reminded him why he was there. Then the inevitable day arrived, the final goodbye. His father lay still in his bed, his breathing soft, so peaceful. John sat beside him. He held his father in his arms, just as his father had held him so many years ago. Tears streamed down John's face. A gentle passing, a profound quiet sorrow filled the room. The house suddenly felt vast and so very empty. The silence was deafening. 5 months drifted by, slowly, like a boat on a calm, sad sea. Grief was a constant companion, a shadow that followed him everywhere, but life, in its persistent way, whispered of new beginnings. A new job opportunity arose, unexpectedly, a small chance, a tiny flicker of hope in the darkness. Perhaps, he thought, perhaps he could start again. He took a deep breath. He said yes, he had to try, for himself. The new job offered a routine, a sense of purpose. John was trying to rebuild his life, piece by piece. He was trying to stand tall again, after so much loss. But life, it seemed, had other plans. More challenges were waiting, more storms were gathering on the horizon. John did not know this. He just kept moving forward, one step at a time, doing his best each day. He was a quiet fighter. One ordinary afternoon it happened. A sharp, sudden pain in his chest, so intense it stole his breath. The world around him began to spin. Then everything went dark. He collapsed. His heart, under too much strain, had stopped. It was too much sorrow, too much stress, too much struggle for one heart to bear. Was this to be his end? So soon after his father, it felt so unfair. Doctors in the hospital worked quickly. They were a blur of motion and urgent voices. They fought for his life. They refused to let him go. And they brought him back from the very edge of eternity. A miracle, some whispered. He woke up later, confused, weak but alive. He had been given another chance at life. The experience shook him to his core. He felt so fragile, so vulnerable now, but the trials were not over. Another blow landed. His girlfriend, the woman he loved, she told him she couldn't do it anymore. His health scare, his past grief. It was too much for her to handle. She left. The loneliness he had felt before returned, but this time it was deeper, more painful. He had lost his job, he had lost his father, he had nearly lost his life. And now he had lost love too. He felt completely broken. He lay in his hospital bed, alone with his thoughts, remembering everything, all the losses, all the pain. It felt like an ocean threatening to drown him, but then deep inside his weary soul, a tiny spark ignited. A quiet voice whispered, "Live." He realized he had a choice. He could surrender to the darkness, or he could choose to fight. He chose to fight. He chose life. He would not give up. He thought of his father. He remembered his father's quiet dignity, the gentle way he faced his own long goodbye. Life, John understood more clearly now, was incredibly precious. A fragile gift. He would not waste this second chance he had been given. He decided to build something new, something that was his own, something that held meaning for him. A new path was calling him. He felt a stirring of resolve. He started his own business. It began small, just an idea, a dream. It was hard work. There were long hours, many moments of doubt, many fears, but he poured his heart and soul into it. Every small success, every milestone reached felt like a victory. He was building more than just a business. He was rebuilding himself. He was finding his way back to the light, slowly, surely. He discovered a new strength within him, a resilience he never knew he possessed. He was not the same man he was before. The trials had changed him. They had forged him. He was stronger now, wiser. He found a new purpose in his work, in helping others. He often felt a guiding hand, a sense of divine intervention that had given him this new life. Hope blossomed in his heart, brighter and more beautiful than ever before.